Okay, so just like I was saying, we started looking at the Windows security features, how we can secure our Microsoft window, which is generally known as the operating system. Remember, we have discussed some cyber security measures, right? And under that, we talk about what and what. Can somebody remind us what are the major topics we discussed there under cyber security measures? Can somebody still recall? Talk about steps to put in place, right? To curb attackers from accessing your system, which we refer to as what? Measures. Measures are what you put in place, right? To stop an action. But in this case, we are saying that as cybersecurity professionals, we are not supposed to wait until attack happens before we put what? Certain measures in place. So it is our standard that whenever we are given any system to ensure its security, we make sure that what? We put some steps in place. We put some measures in place to stop what? A future attack. And we look at these measures. We try to categorize them. Remember that we have only treated the first one, which is the measures that falls under technical, right? Which we classify as what? Technical measures. And under technical measure, can somebody remind us? We mentioned Windows Firewall, right? We mentioned antivirus. We mentioned file encryption, right? That all these are measures that requires technical skills. These are not measures that someone who is not trained can actually what? Put in place. Now, and we suspended that particular topic because we needed to go and see the practical implementation of these technical measures, right? That when we resume that topic, we will continue from what? Organization what? Measures, right? Now, in our last class, we dealt with user what? Account setup, because we identify that as one of the measures that we can put in place to checkmate the activities of our system, right? And we define user account as what? Can somebody help us with that definition? So I'm doing this quick recap because of the young man that was not in that class, right? We said that user account is what? Please, can you speak out? It's a profile that allows what? A person to log in into what? A computer, right? And I cited a good reason why it is our feature as cybersecurity experts that are into what we call security plus. Can somebody tell us what I refer to as security plus, which is an aspect we are dealing with right now? Can somebody remind us? Remember, I told us that our training is broken into two segments, right? We have the Windows Security Plus and the what? The ethical hacking. And I told us that the entire training under the Windows Security Plus is about you understanding how to protect your operating system with the inputs and the external what? Security technologies. And I explained to us that you have to start from that aspect because users uses the computer to exploit what? The internet space that you protect. Am I correct? So we need to make sure that the device or the devices people uses to exploit or to surf the internet are also secured. And that is why this training starts from understanding Windows security. As a cyber security professional, your first responsibility is to ensure the Microsoft Windows is secure. So I will just paraphrase on some core reasons why the Windows security should be prioritized. Number one, the Windows harbors all the apps, right? Or majority of the apps. That is if we are working with a system that is operating local installation. For example, I think I asked us that question that very day. The Microsoft Office that you use, where is it installed? Is it cloud or in your hard drive? In your hard drive, right? And you use one way or the other. Okay, let me not go to Microsoft Office. What about this Google Chrome, which is the web browser? Where is it installed? Is it local or cloud? Local, right? Then I also cited the banking sector that they use application to perform what? Monetary what? Transactions. Those apps, though their own case, those apps are installed in the cloud. And I also told us that this same operating system that is installed in a local machine is also installed in the cloud what? Storage. So which means that somebody can decide to install Windows 10 in the cloud or locally in his own drive. So these same features we are learning, whether you are given a cloud space to manage or an offline base to manage, the features remain what? The same. So in that class, we identify user account as one of the cybersecurity measures to stop what? Attack. And how did we illustrated it? In fact, we went further to talk about two different types of what? User account, majorly. Though I mentioned three, and I said one is already what? Deprecated. So I focus on administrator what? Account. And what? The standard user's account. We also learned how to switch from administrator account to what? Standard what? User. And I cited some reasons. So for those of us that missed that section, like I told us, if you miss my class, the video is recorded just like this. So you come and you will buy it if you want to get the complete what we discussed. So, but I think so far I have paraphrased on a kind of summary of what we did last time. I just wanted everybody to be at least 30% on the same page before we dive into this section assignments. So, so I want to focus on, I don't know if I've concluded firewall. Please, can you check your notes? We discussed everything about firewall, which is one of the first technical measures. So how do we define firewall? We define firewall as what? Said a firewall is a network security system that monitors and what? Controls incoming and what? Outgoing traffic based on predefined what? Security rules. Right? Was that how we define it? You just what? Yes, that was additional example I gave so that for us to understand it. What is the role of a gatekeeper? He watches over the what? The gate, right? What does he check? He checks people that are coming in and people that are what? Going out, right? So at the end of the day, he can be asked to give account of how many people what came in and how many people what went out. That's exactly what we are saying. So when we use that scenario to equate what firewall is, you now see that firewall is actually the window what? Security what? Architecture. Is the window framework, the window security framework, because it checks whatever that is coming from your browser, for example, if you are downloading anything from the internet, which is one of the most recognized means of system contacting virus. How many of us are aware of that? The fastest way a system can contact virus is what? Through downloading things from what? Unverified websites. I think I mentioned it, right? So that is why you have to advise your boss, you have to advise your employees to be careful where they download stuff from. Because these bad guys take advantage of people downloading things from different websites. So that is why before you download anything, my security advice for you is that you are to examine the authentication, right, of that source. I think I gave an example in that class. So I said that firewall, in summary, is the aspect of the Windows that ensure that the system is secured by checking and examining whatever resources that is coming into the system and what's going out of the system. Now, if we are to go to the banking sector, who can tell us what is representing firewall there? If you are to visit a bank now, what is representing firewall there? The security man, are you sure the security man is the person representing firewall? That machine that scans you, right? You notice that whenever you are going in, the machine must scan you, right? When you are coming out, the machine must also what? Scan you. So that machine, so that is a kind of conceptual way we can visualize what we're talking about. So we have that kind of structure in our Microsoft window that checks whatever that is coming in and whatever that is going out. And that is called what? Firewall. And most time it's usually referred to as what? Window Defender what? Firewall. Window Defender. Right? Because it defends. It blocks what? Unverified what? Contents. Remember, we also learned how to access it within our window, right? And I told us that it actually operates in 2 dimensions. It checks when your system is on what? The public what? Network. It also checks when your system is on what? Private what? Network. We mentioned all this and I showed us in that class, right? Good. So now we also talk about some of the purposes. And one of them was that it blocks hackers and what? Unauthorized access. Then number 2, we said what? It filters harmful network traffic. Once there is a kind of network that it cannot verify, it isolates it, it filters it out. Then the last one that I mentioned, I said it protects apps and system what? Resources. Now, we need to understand that, remember when we started, we did establish that for you to ensure effective security, different layers are to be considered, right? What are the layers? Application what? Security, right? Network security, cloud security, mobile security. Have we forgotten? We discussed all this now. Effective what? For you to ensure effective cyber security, many layers need to be what? And that also suggests to us that our responsibility as cyber security expert is to ensure that the company applications, right? The application the company is using to perform their transaction, it is our responsibility to ensure that those apps are also what? Secured. So now we can now move to Windows updates, which is the topic I said I'm going to start from. That's right, Windows updates. I am not sure if I've given us the definition. Have I? So right, Windows updates. So what is Windows update? Because this is another window security measure. Let's define it. Windows updates is an automated Windows Update is an automated service. Just take it again if you feel you have not. Windows Update is what? An automated service that download and install software updates, comma, security patches, comma, drivers, and features improvements to keep the operating system secure, stable, and what? Up to date. So it means we have done it good. Now, we also talk about the importance of it, right? That the importance of updating your window is that it fixes what? Security what? Vulnerabilities, which is the bug now. It fixes what? Security vulnerability. Then the next one I mentioned was that it improves what? System performance, right? And then update what? Drivers. The question is, what do we mean by drivers? Can anybody explain what are drivers? So take note of it. System or window drivers. Write it down. It's very important. System or Windows drivers. They are pieces of software designed to activate hardwares. They are pieces of software designed to activate what? Hardware. In other words, to make hardware perform optimally. In other words, to make hardware perform optimally. For example, when you connect a flash drive, hello, this is one of the aspects I believe every one of us must have experienced if you have ever used what? Flash drive. You know, if you connect your phone, okay, let me use phone. If you connect your phone through USB to your system, do you always get a notification somewhere here that a removable disk have just what? Detected or connected? How many of us have seen that kind of notification? When you connect a flash drive, you connect a printer, you will always get a notification somewhere here that will tell you that the system just received what? A connection. Now, which means that what? For you to see that message, it tells you and I that what? That particular device you just connected, driver exists within the what? The system. So that's why I said drivers are what? Pieces of software which are used to activate what? Hardware. For example, if I purchase a video camera now, and I want to connect it to my system, or once I connect it to my system, it's going to ask for a driver. So that driver is what we make that camera to communicate with the operating system. So these drivers are actually classified into two categories. We have what we call the base driver, and then we have the external driver. I hope you are taking all these notes. They are very important notes. Talking about classification of Windows what? Drivers. So we have base drivers and external drivers. We have base driver and external what? Drivers. So what is the difference between base driver and external driver? Base drivers are drivers, in other words, they are activation softwares that are already built in the operating system. That is why they are called the base. They are already in. For example, those are the kind of drivers that are normally used to activate mouse. Have you ever connected mouse to your system and then it's asking for you to install external driver? No, it's plug and play. Are you with me? Your keyboard, they are plug and play. Why is it referred to as plug and play? Because once you connect it, it starts working without asking for external driver. Am I communicating? So we need to understand that definition of which part? Base driver, I said they are the inbuilt drivers or software or drivers that are already built in the Microsoft Windows. For example, drivers for activating mouse, drivers for activating keyboard. All these drivers are base what? Drivers. They are base drivers. Now, let's quickly look at the external driver. External driver are drivers that are not within the Microsoft window or the operating system. They are drivers that are not within the Microsoft window or the operating system. Am I communicating? So these are the kind of drivers we refer to as what? External driver. Now, when you visit all these technicians, these guys like in Computer Village or in Koware, and you carry your system to them that maybe your mouse pad. How many of us know what is called mouse pad on your laptop? Your mouse pad, you know it, right? Good, where you perform all the clicking, right? Now, you know that sometimes it can stop working because of the absence of what? A driver. So a driver is what could control it. All the devices has driver. They don't have driver, they will not function. So the point I am registering here is that when the driver of a particular device stop working, how you fix it is by performing what? Windows what? Update. So right, therefore, Windows Update is used to fix driver issue. That is one of the advice I've given us before. Windows Update is used to fix driver issue. Now, let's bring it home as cybersecurity professional. How can we secure our system by updating our system? I'm asking, how do we protect our computer by updating it? Can somebody tell us how is updating your operating system becomes a measure you are putting in place to secure that system? Asking. It gives the what? Come again. I said, how a system update is our security measure put in place to protect the system. The system will be more secure because all the software will be up to date, right? Yes, all the software will be what? Up to date. Because when they are not up to date, what happens? Slagging. Then, but what is the right word? You know, we are security experts, so let's use the right word. When your door is not up to date, like this our door that you have used that day, what room have you created for some? What have you done? That means what? You have what? Open, you have made the system what? Vulnerable, right? To attackers. So that is why if your Windows security feature, if your Windows drivers are not up to date, remember that what? The black hat hacker, the bad hacker takes advantage of a weak window. So what makes window weak is when it's not up to what? Date. That is why we as cybersecurity experts, when we are employed, our duty when we get to that office every day is to be doing what? Is to be ensuring that we run what? Windows what? Updates in order to keep all our security technology up to date. Young man, are you with us? Are you following? Okay. So let's look at the step-by-steps on how to update our Windows. Step-by-steps on how to update our Windows.
So just press Window plus I. How many of us know the button called Windows on your keyboard? That button, let me see, the button on your keyboard that have this sign. Are you with me? So you hold it down and press what? I. So once you hold it down and press I, that is going to open this what? Interface. So let's us be doing it as I'm doing it. So anytime you want to perform window update, what is the shortcut? Window key plus what? I. Window key plus I. That is what I press. Can we press it and get the same results? Windows key. Look at the key. Look at your keyboard. The particular pad that have this sign on your keyboard is always only one. Hold it down and press letter I. Are we there now? Depending on the window you are using, if you are using Windows 10, it might look different a little. But never mind, we are going to what? Navigate to the right command. Now, once we get here, can you see what you are looking for? Your next step, click on what? Windows Updates. Hope you are writing your step. Once you have pressed that window what? I, then you click on what? Windows Updates. Windows Updates. If you are having issue, kindly notify me, please. Are we together? Now, once you click on Window Update, now we are going to see now, those of us that have not updated our system for the last 10 years, you will know whether your system is actually secure. Now, look at this. What is my own saying? You are up to what? Dates. But there's a complaint here. Your device is missing important what? Security update. Please, as a cybersecurity expert, if you get this message, you must not go to bed until you solve it, because it means this system is open to attack. Because these are the vulnerabilities we are talking about that the hackers takes advantage of. I think we visualized it the other time. That if you leave the thieves in the society, what did they take advantage of? Is it every house that they rob? Is it every shop that they break? What did they take advantage of? They will have, do you know that sometime before an attack happens, because we also have that same mindset, before an armed robber or before armed robber hits a place, who can tell us what they must have done? Do you think that that day they went there is the first day they are going there? Who can tell me what they will have done? They will have gone there several times to spy, to check the security level. And they have seen that, there are a lot of what? Loopholes. They must have checked whether there are security checks before they get to that place, whether there are, force people mounted in certain area. They will have checked whether there are cameras installed. So all these things, they are looking for what? Loopholes, which we refer to in this field as what? Vulnerabilities. And these are the things we must block. As an expert, when you are given a system to ensure its security, you check for what? You perform what we call vulnerability what? Assessment. You analyze this and present your report to the stakeholder that after performing vulnerability tests, I discovered that what? This door is open. This door is not what? Properly locked. Or the key that is used to lock this door is not strong enough to withstand the what? The external what? Possible what? Forces. And then once you tender that recommendation, you see them taking action. If they have to change the antivirus, just imagine you check the system and you discover that the antivirus somebody is using is all these ones that you download free. SmartDAV, free antivirus, USB antivirus. You recommend that is not strong enough. Based on the current what? Technologies these boys are using to break into system, that antivirus is too low. Can we upgrade to a licensed antivirus? You recommend. In fact, that is how they even know that you are working. Hello? If your security man like Aboki or maybe the first man that you put in your gate is not coming to tell you that yesterday I foiled an attack. Some persons were trying to what? To break into the house, but I stop it. You know, when you get those kind of reports, how do you feel as the owner of the house? You feel more confident that, wow, I really have a good word. I have a strong security word system or person in place. That is how we are supposed to operate. So once you come here, what do we do? So how do I now check if we have updates? I will click on what? Check what? Updates. Mind you, you cannot perform this check. You cannot update your system if you are not on the internet. Make sure that you are connected. So our next step is to click on what? Check for what? Updates. Now you hold on and see whether there will be what? A kind of report. Are we also doing that? Some of us, I think we are getting more threatening report than my own. For what I'm citing from here now. You can see that your system is open to all manner of attack. It's not secured. So if you are employed tomorrow, once you come in, you perform all the checks. Now look at what I have here. Look at what I have here quickly. Security intelligence. Imagine the major technology that sense the AI feature is outdated. I mean, I wasn't saying. Now, what is it doing? Is it downloaded it immediately and it's also what? Installing it. So which means that what? Going forward, this computer is what? More secure. So the firewall that we talk about, that is a gatekeeper. If it's not updated, it's just like you employ a security man that is not updated. How do you know a security man that is not updated, please? How do you know a security personnel that is not updated? Huh? It's not what? Yeah, let's say we put a gate man there and a security man there. How do we know that that person is not updated? He doesn't have weapons. He's just there. That is what makes you feel that he's not updated. You will not be seeing him. Please, so a security man that is sleeping on duty, can we say is an updated security man? Sleeping on duty. How many of us know that? See, let me share this. There was a time when I went to Lagos where there was no job and I needed money. I have to take one security job. I did not do it more than 1 week. I stopped. Do you know what I discovered? And I discovered that when it is 12 a.m., 12 a.m., that is midnight now, right? When it's 12 a.m. Or 1 a.m., we will go and sleep. And the boss told them now, then we make sure that we wake up before 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. So what message I'm telling you now is that what most of those guys doing night security work, they sleep. They sleep. That except the ones that the owner has planted what? Cameras. So if you are sleeping the next day, the owner will watch and see that you were not there. That is still advancement of what? Technology. If not, that means what? Before the invention of this one, a lot of security men were just sleeping at night without even doing their jobs. Today, now, even in our country, I don't want to mention the name of the country before YouTube will bring down my video. It is when the armed robber has left the location. That is where you see them coming, isn't it? Can somebody tell me, but if it is developed country like US, once they hear that there is an armed robbery taking place, that is when they go there, right? Who can tell us the difference between those ones and our own? What gives those ones confidence to confront them live? And what makes our own to run away? They have updated technologies. See, let me tell you, it's not as if our own cannot go, but they look at the kind of gun they are holding. And the ones those boys are holding, they have already advised themselves that I have family and I only have one life to live. Let me not go and die like Sarah. They will hide. And your government cannot actually blame them because they were not what? Equipped very well. So what we are saying is this. Everything I just explained now can be connected to what? Securing the cyberspace. So if, for example, you are employed and you refuse to open your mouth and ask for money to buy strong antivirus, latest antivirus that have the latest AI feature that can catch internet thieves live within a second, you now say that let me not talk. At the end of the day now, you are not updated. So now we are going to do something. Listen, the way your system will update determined by how it is programmed. Did you understand that? Hello? What will make your system to update live depends on how you program it. So that takes us to how to program your Windows security. How to program your Windows security. How to program your Windows security. To update automatically, which is the best practice. How to program Windows security features to update automatically. Now, when we say that Windows should update automatically, you know what it means? It means that it does not need my consent, right? Once the computer is on the internet, it should update. That is what we are simply saying. That is what we are simply saying. Do you know that some users, they avoid this because they don't want their data to be consumed. They will come and complain to you that my system, once I subscribe 10 gig, within the next few hours, the 10 gig has gone. But they don't know that the system is using part of that 10 gig to update automatically. Now, when they come to you, what will be your response? Say, yeah, it's healthy. Because that update that is taking place is to make your system to look healthier. Am I communicating? Now, those ones that will say that, please, can you turn it off? What will you now advise them as a security expert? You tell them the risk that yes, it can be turned off, but the implication is that hackers can easily break into your system. So my cybersecurity expert or expertise advice for you is that any computer that goes on the internet on a daily basis must set its window update automatically. Any computer that goes on the internet on a daily basis, please, the window update should be programmed to update automatically. So how do we do that? You click on steps on how to set your Windows update automatically. Step. So I'm starting again. Step. Press Window plus I, and click on Windows Update. Press Window plus I, that same shortcut that we pressed the other time, and click on Windows Update. Are you with me? Click on Windows Update. Now look up. So now once you click here, that is what will bring you here. Now you click on Advanced option. Click on Advanced option. So once you click on Advanced option, let me be sure that we are all there. I hope you are following. You click on Advanced option. You will see this option. Look at them here. They are very important. Turning them on and off. You need to understand when to turn them on and when to turn them off. What is the first one? The first one says what? Receive updates for other Microsoft products. You know what this means? I turn it off because what it means is that if you are running Microsoft application like Word, Excel, and you are not using a licensed version, a licensed copy, maybe you are using the crack version. If you turn this thing on, within the next few days, they will block it. That is the meaning. But because the office that I'm using is a crack one, and I don't want them to be getting updates, that is why what? I turn it off. But if the person in a real enterprise, like an organization, like a bank, that are using all this application, please, you must do what? You turn it on because they must have installed what? License one. So it will now become Microsoft that will be updating it because they are using a copy that they purchased. So the security of that app become the responsibility of what? Microsoft. But in my own case now, I'm not receiving that security what? Advantage. Because that is the disadvantage of you using what? Crack software. You will not get enough what? Assistance from what? The developer. So you are at risk, but you don't know. That is why all these Microsoft Windows that we are using in this part of the world that are not licensed, we stand just that other country. Look at it, other country, they are not interested in hacking Nigerians. It is only people from this part and other places that are interested what? In hacking what? Other developed what? Places. If not, just imagine they are interested in hacking all these undeveloped countries. I can tell you, most of the operators that we are using, they are what? They are not licensed. Because for you to have Microsoft Windows license copy, you will spend not less than 150,000. But today you just go to Kowe or Computer Village. The next thing you do is what? You will just pay with 5,000 naira, with 6,000 naira. They install what? Windows. And it's not as if they are even spending the whole money. That 5,000, they've added their what? Workmanship. So if you look at the cost of the window they are installing, it's equivalent to like maybe 500 naira. And that is the window you are using for like 2 years, 3 years. So you can't expect the same amount of what? Security with somebody who purchased the license copy from what? Microsoft. So if you want all the security to be effective, 100%, then you have to buy what? License one. So now look at this one now. Get me up to date. Is it on or off? So I would advise what? You turn on this option. The next one is what? Download updates over what? Metered connection. You can turn it on. Notify me when a restart is required. That is what? You will always get a message somewhere here when it says that, oh, I had just installed an update, but for that update to work, the computer must be what? Restarted. So there should, instead of the update to install and shut down the system without taking note of what you are doing at that moment, because it can happen. You can program it that it should not notify you. So which means that anytime it downloads an update, and once it completes the installation, it will restart. So somebody can call you now and tell you that what? My system is having issue. After some time, it will just restart by itself. So what we normally do is that we'll go and check this option. Maybe the person wrongly will program it in a way that I did not say notify him first. So that is why each time the computer is switching off, because an update have just what? Taken place. And most time when you update, the computer must restart for all those updates to probably what? Register. So you can program it if you want, and then you cannot choose active hour for this setting. My active hour is set on what? Automatically. And then if you go down, you see additional option that says what? Optional what? Updates. Now, if you expand it, you see the options there. Expand it, see the option there. And what are these options? Driver what? Update 7. That's what this is a kind of if you have a specific problem, one of these driver might help. So these are drivers that are recommended for what? Updates. So I can just check them I can just check this option and then probably get them updated. Look at it here. So you can say, oh, so these drivers are having issue. These are the drivers that are on queue that could be causing your system to malfunction. So just check them and select download and install. From that other option, additional option, that is where I got it from. So if you are using Windows 10, you just have to exploit equivalent option. So you can see that is now downloading them, and also when this process is completed, it will probably install them, and then recommend that you download you restart your system rather. Can you find it? Look at the options now. You know, you have to turn on one of the options before you can. No, not receive. Yes, something like that.
So as you can see that those updates, those drivers has been downloaded and installed. Now remember, it brought out a notification that whether I want to restart the system now, and I said not now, because I don't want to interrupt the recording. Are we together? Your window is not updated or is not activated. Updated, and that is why you are updating now. Your window is not updated. Are you on the internet? Yeah. Okay, so maybe you have not turned on the feature you need to turn on. If you have turned on the feature you need to turn on, you shouldn't get that message. As any other person, okay, where's your laptop? Okay, you have not resolved it yet. Okay, so now that is what we need to know under Windows updates. Now you can see that it's waiting for me to restart, for those updates to take place. And then it's asking me to schedule when to restart. All right, now this was the option that I think I was exploring this other option. Look at the option.